Today I'm going to be making a winter special treat, great for gifts, party pleasers. I start out with a basic sheet pan, and of course I line it with foil, nothing in addition. The ingredients or items that you'll need is a nice spatula. You need a silicone coated whisk. Today I'm going to use almond flavor. You can use any flavor that you prefer, but for this little combination, I'm going to use almond. I need butter. Of course, we'll need sugar. You can determine the quality of chocolate that you use. I like block chocolate. You can use the chocolate morsels or the chocolate chips. I'm going to be using probably about 1.5 cups. Or you can use the 8-ounce package. That will work great also. I previously roasted some raw almonds, and I cut them into little smaller pieces. We're going to start out by showing you the proper pan to cook toffee in. This is a cephalon pan. It has a heavy coated bottom to it. The copper bottom, it allows it to heat evenly, and it'll give me the best results. On medium-low heat, I'm going to begin to melt my butter. I have doubled the recipe, so I actually have 2 cups of butter. This is a party size recipe. At this point, my butter is almost completely melted. I'm in not a hurry to melt the butter. I'm gonna add 2 cups of granulated sugar. This is the tricky part. This is when you need your silicone whisk and you want to start mixing these ingredients together. Once fully incorporated, you want to raise the heat just a little bit. It's going to come to a slight boil. I've just added in my lemon flavoring, and we're going to continue to mix. The hard part is to make sure that the sugar and the butter completely 100% incorporate. Now, while you begin to stir, you want to have a homogeneous, a consistent whiter color to this one. This is going to let you know that it is solid. You don't want any portions of the butter separated from the mixture of sugar at this point. You continue to whisk, not in a hurry, nice and slow. This is how we make perfection. Right now, everything's well incorporated. I have a nice slow rolling boil. There's no separation between the butter, the sugar, or the flavoring that I have added. I'm gonna let it just slowly cook at this slow, gentle boil, no stirring, no touching, and you're gonna see it slowly begin to change color. That's what we're going to be looking for. So we have a little prep work to do while we're waiting for the toffee to become toffee. And I take my pan and I take my almonds and I begin to layer the pan with the almonds. Spread them out evenly. There's enough in here to cover basically this whole pan. But I want every bite to have some almond in it. So we're just gonna spread it out. This is about 3 minutes in. You can see it slowly starting to turn brown. Still don't touch. I want a uniform color. I figure probably about another 3 more minutes and I'll be close to begin to test to make sure that it is just where I need it to be at. And this is where we get to the good part, the tricky part. Either you got it just right or you're burning it at this point. I do mine a different way. I simply swipe, pull, and if it fully coats the spatula, slow drip, my toffee is ready. So at this point, I pour my toffee. Before my toffee start setting up, I'm going to help to make sure all the almonds is well incorporated. And you can see that the depression don't stay. So nothing's coming off. Toffee's going to be setting up here in a couple of minutes. I'll let this cool down for maybe a minute before I start applying the chocolate to it. Because the heat of the toffee is going to melt the chocolate, I just simply spread and it's ready to go. I have a small piece of toffee still left on my utensil, and I'm showing you how the toffee is set up. I should be able to take the toffee off, add it in. It's at the perfect stage for good toffee. I'm just going to start adding the chocolate in on top. I need it nice and light, nothing heavy. I've broken this up so that it'll melt easy on top. I don't want any big pieces. I really don't like using the chocolate chip because they'll leave depressions and they have a tendency to mess up my finished product. So shredding the chocolate seemed to work best for me. Everybody have something that they prefer, but this is my preference. So most of my pieces have begun to melt. Gently, very gently, I begin to rake over. Gently, oh so gently, over the warming or the cooling toffee, I begin to rake my chocolate. Nice and slow, no heavy pressure, and I just covered the whole surface. I can even out the chocolate. At this point, you can add anything extra, sprinkles, more nuts. I have plenty of nuts inside, so I don't want to add anything on top. The taste alone is going to be enough to set this piece apart. Some nice quality chocolate, good spreading. At this point, I just simply let my toffee cool so we can set up the top. And then as it cools off, I'll show you how I cut it up. Now this is my finished product of my English toffee. I decided to put just a little bit of almond slivers on top. This is the part that's real important. Sharp knife. This is my Cutco knife, which I love, but I'm going to just cut into the toffee and it's going to break up for us. And then I'm gonna store it in a tin container. It's just a matter of rocking back and forth. It splits easily. Rock back and forth and it breaks up. This way you don't have to, you can control the breakage of the toffee. You'll have some type of control over the size of your pieces. Rock back and forth and it'll break for you. Rock back and forth. I'm going to turn that again for us. Now the best place to store this, of course, is in a tin container. It's airtight. Even the old popcorn containers, that'll work really well. And that's exactly what I'm going to use. I'm going to use a popcorn container. I like to line mine with plastic. And this is how I'm going to store the toffee. We're going to take a good look at the toffee. Of course, you can see the nuts inside. It's a nice thickness. Plenty of nuts, nice buttery. nice size to be enjoyed by all. Just load up your tin container, and your guests will, of course, love this delicious, rich, buttery taste of toffee. You can add variations to your toffee. You can add habanero. You can add peanut butter. You can add a little bit of fudge taste. You can change your flavoring from rum to almond to a buttery one. But of course, with all recipes, a little bit of modification will give you interesting results. Hope to share your butter toffee recipe with me. Like and subscribe.